The FIIL T1 Pro are the latest set of true wireless earbuds coming from FIIL, and these are packing active noise cancellation and ambient sound. So naturally, people were asking me to compare these to the Edifier TWS NB2. So that's what we're going to do in this video to find out which one is the right one for you. Now, if you're interested in checking out either of these earbuds, check out the links I'm going to leave in the description box down below, and that's going to take you to the latest updated pricing. Now, before we go any further, and for full disclosure, because I like having transparency and honesty with my viewers, I went ahead and bought both of these earbuds with my own money for testing and review purposes. Now, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns about the way that I receive or review these products, check out the disclosure in the description box right down below. So first up, let's talk about the things that they do have in common. So both of them feature Dual Connect or TWS Plus. Both of them do have a dedicated companion app where you can have access to additional controls. They both do feature in-ear detection, so they will play and pause automatically as you take them in and out, and they can both be deactivated if you wish. As far as codecs, both of them are the same. They're both using AAC and SBC respectively. They both use USB Type-C for charging. They also both feature ANC and ambient sound. And last but not least, they both feature touch controls. So with that stuff out of the way, let's get into the meat and potatoes here. So first up, let's compare their apps. Now, both apps work very well. One of them is the Edifier Connect and the other one is the FIIL Plus. Now, as far as both apps are concerned, right now, the Edifier is available in English and it is compatible with the TWS NB2s, and it does give you full access to all of their controls and it's easy to read. Unfortunately, there is no sound adjustment. So there is no EQ, there's no EQ presets. The sound that you get with these is the sound that you get with these. They do give you a lot of other controls, but unfortunately, EQ is not one of them. As far as the FIIL T1 Pro right now, you have to download the specific Chinese version of their app in order to get app access for the FIIL T1 Pro. But when you're in there, it is a much more extensive app. It gives you many more controls, including a ton of presets for EQ and a graphic equalizer. So out of those two apps, for me personally, I do prefer the look of the Edifier app, but the overall controls and the in-depth nature of it, I do give the win for the app to the FIIL T1 Pro. Next up, the design of the earbuds. Now, this is just for me, just cool points, just which one to me I think looks better. Overall, I'm very partial to the Edifier's design. I think it looks really cool. It looks futuristic. It is a STEM style design, which most people don't like, and that's just based on, the AirPods. But these are such a departure. This is such a different style and look that to me, I think it looks pretty cool. It's probably one of the most futuristic sets of true wireless earbuds that I've seen in a long time. It's a striking design, angular, and it just looks kind of cool. I don't know. That's just me. I don't know. But for me, style points, if I have to give some here, they both look great, but I have to give the win here to the Edifiers. So now let's move over to the battery and the case. So as far as this is concerned, it's actually pretty close. As far as the overall battery life, the NB2s are going to give you 33 total hours, where the T1 Pros are giving you 32. So only a difference of an hour. So very close, like neck and neck here. As far as the earbuds themselves, this is where we get a little bit more variance, but still close. So the NB2s are giving you 6 hours and 29 minutes with noise cancellation turned on, with the T1 Pro coming in at 6 hours and 8 minutes with noise cancellation turned on. So the NB2s beat them with ANC on. Now, with ANC off, the NB2s are going to give you 7 hours and 54 minutes, where the T1 Pros are going to give you 8 hours and 59 minutes. So you're getting around 20 more minutes with noise cancellation turned on with the Edifiers, but you're going to get an hour less overall with noise cancellation turned off. So like I said, battery life is very close when it comes to the case, when it comes to the earbuds themselves. Now, what kind of puts the T1 Pro over the top is out of these two, it's the only one that has Qi wireless charging. So both of them use USB Type-C, but Qi wireless with the T1 Pro. So as close as it is, that Qi wireless charging is what put the T1 Pro over the top when it comes to the case and battery comparison. Next up, we have the comfort. So overall, as far as the comfort goes, both of them are comfortable, but the smaller nature, more low profile design of the T1 Pro is what's going to give them the win in the comfort department. And in my opinion, they're also going to be much more compatible for people with smaller ears, opening them up to a wider range of customers that are potentially going to have a better experience when wearing these earbuds. Next, let's move over to the call quality. So both of these are featuring dual noise canceling mics, but as per usual, let's do a back-to-back microphone sample test, and we're going to let you be the judge.
All right, so here we have the call quality test for the Edifier TWS NB2. Testing, 1, 2, 3. So we are indoors, obviously in a semi-quiet environment. So kind of like the ideal conditions that you would have for making phone calls, Zoom calls, or whatever it might be. All right, so here we have the call quality test for the FIIL T1 PRO. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Obviously, we are indoors in a semi-quiet environment, so ideal conditions for call quality, for Zoom calls, video conferencing, things of that nature. So testing, 1, 2, 3. So here we have the Edifier TWS NB2 with a bit of crowd noise in the background, similar to a crowded cafe, coffee shop, something along those lines. So testing, 1, 2, 3. So here are the FIIL T1 Pro with some simulated crowd noise. So similar to a coffee shop, crowded bus station, something of that nature. Testing, 1, 2, 3.
So now let's move over to the active noise cancellation. So out of these two, the winner here is going to be the Edifier TWS NB2. Now it is very, very close, but the Edifiers definitely edged out the FIIL T1 Pro when it came to this. As far as the ambient sound is concerned, the win's going to go to the T1 Pro. Main reason being is that there is almost no white noise with their ambient sound. Now, with the TWS NB2s, you are getting adjustability in the app for that ambient sound where you could turn the volume up and down, but it doesn't do anything to remove that white noise. So that's the main reason why the win goes to the T1 Pro for its ambient sound. Now, as far as volume is concerned, the winner here is the T1 Pro. You're going to get an additional 2 clicks of volume over the Edifiers with the T1 Pros. So the Edifiers are still plenty loud, but it is a noticeable volume difference when it comes to the T1 Pros. And then as far as overall sound quality is concerned, this is where FIIL always comes through. Overall sound quality is, for me personally, far superior with the FIIL T1 Pro than the Edifiers. Now, that's not saying that the Edifiers don't sound good, because they do. We're talking about Edifier here. This is a more deep V-shaped type of sound. So you got that strong bass punch, you got a nice boost in the bass, and the mids are sort of neutral and recessed. Right up close, not a very wide sound, very narrow, but still sounds very good. And they got some thump to them. So overall, very good. Anybody who picks up the NB2s is going to be very, very happy with them, assuming that they like that type of a sound signature. But when you come to the FIIL T1 Pro, you're not only going to get that thump, you're going to get that sub bass, you're going to get nice clean mids, but you're also going to get a treble clarity that the Edifiers are not bringing to the table. You're going to get a width to the sound. You're going to get more separation in instruments with the T1 Pros than you're going to get out of the Edifier NB2s. So overall, the win here as far as sound quality, most definitely going to the T1 Pro. So overall, if I had to choose one of these two for myself, I'm going to choose the FIIL T1 Pro over the Edifiers. And that's mostly just for sound quality, because for me, sound quality is king over ambient sound, over battery life, over even active noise cancellation. But if you need something that's going to give you that thump and good noise cancellation, then definitely feel free, go with the Edifiers. To be completely honest, you really can't go wrong with either of these. Their main differences really come down to ANC and sound quality. One doing ANC better, the other doing sound quality better. So choose accordingly. Now, if you're interested in checking out some of my other options under 50 and under $100, check out the videos that I'm going to leave on the screen right up here. With all that said, I'm out. Peace.